Hello, this is Susan Poss with Spartanburg Community College, and I'm working today in section 9.4. And because I'm going to divide this up into shorter videos, I think I'm going to go ahead and label this 9.4 video 1. All right, so this section, we leave part of this section out, the section part on rationalizing denominators, which means taking a denominator that's irrational and turning it into something that's rational. We are not going to do that section. So I'm only addressing the operations with radicals part. So the first thing we need to remember is the definition of like terms. And I'm going to start with like terms that are just what you've already learned in algebra. So on the left you can see I've got some like terms identified. And let me talk about what makes them like terms. They have exactly the same letter, and these letters have exactly the same power, the same exponent. So these are all considered like terms, and we would be able to combine those. Let's say we wanted to add these terms together. This would give me 3x and 3x plus 1/3 x. Might look something like that, or we might write it as 10/3 x. So when you have like terms, they can be combined using addition and subtraction. So over on the right, you'll see some examples of unlike terms. The thing that makes these unlike, the letters are different. This contains an X, this contains a Y, that's different. This contains both an X and a Y, which is different from all the others. And this one contains an X, but it has a power of 2, where this first X back here had a power of 1. So when you're looking for like terms, you're looking for exactly the same letters with exactly the same exponents. All right, so now let me see. Oh, and by the way, these over here on the right, the ones that are unlike, cannot be combined. They cannot be added or subtracted because they're not alike. All right, so I want to show you some radical terms that are like, and some radical terms that are not like. So if we have a term radical, let's say this is 3x. All right, so what makes these like terms? It's probably pretty obvious. This radicand, remember, is the expression that's up underneath the radical. So you can see that the radicand in all three of these terms is the same. So the radicands have to match. And the other thing that you need to look for, just as we had to look for the exponent on the other terms, you need to make sure that these roots, these index numbers, are all the same. And these are not written down because they're square roots, but you can see that they all have an index number of 2. So like terms have to have exactly the same radicand, and they have to have the same index. So let me show you some examples of some radical terms that are not alike. All right, so there's some examples of things that are unlike. And you can see in these first two examples, the radicands are the same. They're both 3x. But I hope you notice that this this first one is an index of 2, and the second one is an index of 3. So those are not like terms. Over here in this third example, this has got a different letter, 3y, it's not a 3x, and this has 3xy, and it's also an index number of 4. So those are examples of unlike terms, and those are the ones that cannot be combined. So we're going to be talking about arithmetic operations. We're going to be doing some adding, subtracting, and multiplying. We will not be doing the division because that has to do with that rationalizing denominators that I talked about earlier. All right, so that might be a good place to end this video so they don't get too terribly long.